Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Live, Let, Thrive. I am Stevie Stacks, coming at you from Fort Worth, Texas, and this is your favorite short-term, mid-term, long-term rental podcast in the world. And this is episode 311. It's a lot of episodes, and man, I really needed to sit down and do one of these. And I'm not cranking them out as fast as I used to crank these out. Make sure we used to do sometimes 2 or 3 a week and just be flying through these. But I am still elbows deep in the short term and midterm world, rental world, and I have plenty of stories that just keep compounding and compounding. So if I wait too long, if I wait like a couple weeks before I grab one of these, do one of these podcasts, then it's a lot of backlog of things I needed to talk about with you guys. But thank you all for listening all these years. And I'm just gonna dive into it. This is episode 311, as I mentioned. And one thing I wanted to jump into first is man, I could start anywhere, but let's start at this crazy dead cat situation. That's a great what is that like a stock market term, right? Is this a symbol of the stock market? The dead cat bounce, whatever they call it when the stock is dropping, but it bounces up. Oh, it's going back up. Oh no, not down, bounce, bounce. They call it a dead cat bounce. So it's like a stock makes people think it's going to go back up, but it actually just keeps going down or down. Dead cat. Why do I bring up a dead cat? Because of first, and like I said, I've done this 8 years, been doing short-term rentals, midterm rentals as well. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and yet something new always happens. And this something new today, I went and had to go remove a dead cat from one of our arbitrage houses in Grand Prairie. And the guests were cool. They said, "Hey, there's this dead cat. It's been here a couple of days. Could y'all send someone to come get it? It's starting to smell and all this stuff." And my team, like I said, my team handles everything 99.999%. They bring me in on special events, and they brought me in on this one. They said, "Hey, Steve, there's a dead cat situation at one of their houses, and the guest is going to be there for like a month." The guest said, it's been there a couple of days, and they're wondering if someone can go grab it. We called animal control services, and they said that they'll take about at least a week to get out to it. They'll go grab it, but it'll take like at least a week. And they called, I guess, animal whatever, the ones you pay for, the pest control, animal controls. Not the one from the city, but the other ones that you pay for to get varmints out of your house, and they charge a lot of money. I think like I don't know, $300, $400 to go get a dead animal out of your yard or wherever it's at. And so I was like, you know what? I told him I'm gonna be in Grand Prairie tomorrow because I was gonna go do this thing about these washers and dryers. I'm gonna bring that up in a second, but I'll circle through and I'll go grab the dead cat. I brought some trash bags. I was loading down for the day because I was gonna be out and about, and I totally forgot my shovel. Anyway, so I pull up to this house. I had my gloves too. I had my rubber gloves, so I wouldn't I didn't touch the damn thing. But I get out to the house and I start looking around. Where is this cat? I'm looking around. I was like, oh, right there in the bushes, which there's not too much bushes right there. It's right hugged up on the house where you would put some bushes. Big, giant, black cat, pure black, big, giant cat, biggest cat. Well, I don't know, biggest cat I've ever seen, but it's a big freaking cat. Not one that I could just kind of like scoop up pretty easily because it had some weight to it. And maybe it had bloated as well. So it was just it was a nasty scene, man. And I was like, I forgot my shovel, and I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna get this bag around it and pull it. No, no, it was just it was rotting. It stunk. It was just covered with these nasty bugs and the. I'm sorry if I'm freaking anybody out, but the guts was coming out. It wasn't a good. It wasn't. I'm not built for this. I'm not. I mean, there's people out there that go and investigate crime scenes and they do all kinds of crazy stuff, but I don't know how they do it, these CSI folks, but this I couldn't handle a cat in this kind of situation. I can't imagine, you know, something else that people have to discover, but this was pretty gross. And so I knocked on the door and I told the lady that's staying there, I said, "Hey, I see the I saw the cat, but first of all, I forgot my shovel. And second of all, the shovel I had, like kind of it's like a narrow shovel. I don't think it would have worked anyways. So I'm gonna go to the Home Depot and go get me a shovel, maybe a giant snow shovel, but we really don't have those here in Texas because it doesn't snow very much, maybe for a week, but it doesn't accumulate like 20 feet of snow like in the Northeast or something. So we don't have giant snow shovels at the Home Depots, especially right now in October. Um, so I said, I'm gonna go to the Home Depot. I'm gonna come back with something to get this thing. And she's really understanding, really cool girl. She was just like, yeah, she goes, if it was a small cat, I would have scooped it up myself and thrown it away, but it's a huge cat. And I was like, yeah, it's a big cat. It's gross. And so I head over to Home Depot and I go look at their shovels, but like I said, all the shovels are pretty just regular shovels, narrow, and this I don't see how I'm gonna get this whole big giant cat with one of these shovels. So, but I saw one of those metal rakes, not the flimsy ones, but the hard ones, the ones that come out in and just like have the solid metal at the end, and it's kind of like you could till the ground with it, kind of thing. Anyways, I saw one. I was like, okay, I started getting an idea. I was like, I got one of those. I'm gonna get me one of these flimsy trash cans from here. They had like these trash cans for like $15. I was like, all right, $15. That's not bad. I got the trash bags. I just need to get this rake, and I said I need a rake anyways. I need one of these. I don't have one of these. I have a different type, but these are good too. And so I was like, and the rake was like $20, like 19 something. And so, anyways, I get back over. This is what I was gonna do. I double bagged that trash can and I laid it on the ground close to the cat, and I got that metal rake, and I'm just scooping it into the trash can and tilt it up, and it falls in, and it's nasty, man, nasty. And then I closed the trash bags as fast as I could without gagging and puking, and and then I got another giant trash bag and I covered I put the trash can inside the giant black trash bag. It was a big one. And closed that up real tight. And then I put the lid on top of the everything. So it's trash bags inside a trash can, which has the cat's body sealed. Then I put another trash bag around the whole thing. And then I put a lid on top of all that stuff. And then I put another trash bag around it and closed it tight and couldn't smell none. I kind of tilled that part of the yard where all those animal action was gross. And so the girl that came out that was that's staying there, real cool girl, and I said, yeah, I got it all in that trash can. And I said, well, I think I was gonna put it in my truck and then take it somewhere. I was like, I just don't know where to take it. She goes, oh, well, I called the city. They said as long as you put it up by the curb, they'll come and grab it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. The trash day was the next day or something. So she goes, it's gonna smell. I was like, well, I put like 5 trash bags on that thing, so I don't think so. And I'll set it over there on the far end of the curb. And anyways, that was the dead cat incident. So yeah, I always see something new. I've been doing this for years, but I always see something new, and that was definitely a first. The the cool part of about being there and actually meeting one of the guests, I didn't tell her I was the guy that was the host of the Airbnb. I didn't say none of that because it shows our just rentals on our site, and it shows the teams working with her and everything, but it doesn't show my name anywhere. And so she just thought she goes, "Oh, they sent you to come get the cat." I was like, "Yeah, they sent me to come get it." And so she probably just thought I was a, just a worker or something. And I had my old pickup and I'm dressed in just a t-shirt and whatever. And so but she was really nice. I was like, "Oh, that's a cool." She had a little camper in the driveway, right? And I was like, that's a cool camper." It's like he goes, "Oh yeah, it's mine." I was like, "Oh wow." It says it had had the Lowe's, like a Home Depot store, what are they called? Hardware store. Lowe's. It had Lowe's lumber store, hardware store, whatever, stickers all over it, right? Or like a paint job. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And she said, "Actually, it's a mobile coffee store. It's like a coffee shop inside of there." And it's a little, I don't know if y'all know trailers too good. I don't know them too well, but she called it a little teardrop. It's like a little thing you could walk in. You could fit like, three, maybe four people into this thing. And it's a teardrop shape and there's no bathroom in it or nothing, but it's a cool little camper. You can go glamping in it or something with a couple people. And she said it's actual, it's a coffee shop in there, or people don't go in, they drink their coffee, but the other side opens up and she serves coffee from it. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I started doing it, a few years ago, and then Lowe's department store, I'm not, you know, lumber supply, whatever, they hit me up and they said, hey, um, they wanted to contract her to go to construction sites and give away free coffee to the workers if they signed up for Lowe's rewards." So of course they pay her for all that. And she said, "Yeah, sure." She didn't tell me how much they pay her or nothing, but they agreed to a price. They painted her thing up all Lowe's and everything. And she goes, they send her around to all these different construction sites and to excuse me, to give away free coffee and get people signed up for that Lowe's rewards and stuff. So that gets them a lot of business because of course they're always competing with Home Depot. So they're trying to find ways to get more outreach to the people that are buying all these materials for all the construction sites, which is a freaking genius idea. But she says they send her all over the country. And I'm like, that is the coolest idea, man. She came up with this idea, entrepreneur spirit. She's gonna have her little mobile coffee shop and go park at places and sell coffee. And it's a cool little setup in there. It has all the different stuff. You can make all these cappuccinos, frappuccinos, all that stuff, and espressos. But it would have been, yeah, maybe she made some good money on it. Who knows? But then the giant corporation Lowe's contracted her to do it for them. And so Lowe's has deep pockets. So I'm like, so something, a cool idea that she came up with and she made it work. And all of a sudden, and it leads to something bigger. And that's what I love, man. Just getting the momentum, getting whatever your idea is. We talk about short-term rentals and this midterm rentals in this space, but um, you might have some other crazy idea. You think, wow, this would be cool. And you don't know how it's going to work or what it's going to do, but you're passionate about it and you start it and then it might lead and it just snowballs and leads to something else. I love stories like that. So that was the the dead cat story and then the mobile little coffee shop story, which is really, really cool. So a lot of topics here, man. What I mentioned earlier, the washer and dryer, right? I mentioned going to Grand Prairie, and so here's what happened. So this Grand Prairie other house that we have, it has the washer and dryer have been slowly going out, and I had bought these ones used when I got the arbitrage a long time ago. I had bought them used, and they worked for a while, and then they just started working less and less. And, shelf life on used products. And so I was thinking, well, what should I do in this situation? My buddy Mike Brown had mentioned before that he rents washers and dryers and for his house arbitrages, the ones that don't come with them. And I thought, oh, well, how much does that cost? And it's $100 a month or something. He's like, no, it's around $50 a month. And sure enough, I found a company over, by where I have my do arbitrages, and they do washer dryer rentals. and they charge, it was with taxes and all that stuff, and it was like $51 a month, and it's for both, not just one, washer and dryer, and they drop it off at your house, and they if anything ever goes wrong with it, they fix it for you for free, so that's pretty cool. It's like having machines with warranties, and then after you're done with it, if you leave that arbitrage or whatever, unless you move it to another one, they'll come pick it up for free. And so they do drop off and pick up for free. And then well, no, I think the drop off costs money. I think it's like $55 to drop them both off and hook them up. So they're gonna come out tomorrow. So, but the only rule they had was I had to go out there and take the old ones out, and so I set those by the curb because the junkers come through and they pick up all the scrap metal and stuff. So they pick those up pretty quickly. Or people that know how to fix washers and dryers, they'll go grab them and then they'll sell them. So I set them out by the curb and I cleaned that area real good. So all they got to do is show up tomorrow and go plug them in, start them up, turn the water on, and then it'll be good to go. So it's a cool thing that I never tried, but I'm thinking more and more of doing that because you're gonna buy a set of if you buy new washer and dryers, even the lowest prices, you can spend around $1,200 to $1,400 for both of them, right? With taxes and everything. So then, they might come with a warranty, which if it might be a year. Most of them do. I don't know if it's 3 months or to a year. But the thing is, after that, if they fail, then you're out of luck. You're gonna pay a lot of money to fix them, or you're gonna have to get new ones. Whereas this, it's only like for each one, $25 to rent each one, and then if they fail, they fix them the whole time you have these that you're renting these. So I thought it was a really cool idea, and it'd just be a line item expense for your property. It'd be $50 a month, but hopefully you're making a couple of thousand a month on your arbitrage. So it's really absorbing that. But I thought that was a cool way to get started, especially to get started fast and setting up an arbitrage. And I'll go to that real quick, starting an arbitrage quickly because this happened this past week. Last week. So my good friend and partner in some of these arbitrages and then buying houses. My tea. Cheryl, shout out to Cheryl. I found her another arbitrage over here near me. She's out of San Francisco, but she invests, from there, and I, handle everything here. So I found her one here that was really nice, and I said, "This one's pretty good. Do you want it?" And she said, "Yes." So I went ahead and submitted everything and got the lease signed and all that stuff, and it's her new arbitrage. And I said, "You know what?" I s- she wanted to set it up herself, doing the whole Wayfair and Amazon thing to save money. And you can save money that way. It's just things roll in when they roll in, and they don't always big furniture doesn't always get shipped very quickly, and then there's a lot of times there's delays. If you ever dealt with Wayfair, then you know what I'm talking about. There's delays, and then they might lose the object, or it comes with not all the pieces there. So got this new arbitrage, and then she wanted to set it up over the weekend. So she got it last week on the 1st of October, and she wanted to set it up over the weekend. Had things rolling in all the way through Sunday, all the way through Monday, Tuesday, and I said, well, we just got a request for a home in Grand Prairie for 4 months for $4,000 a month. And her rent on this place is $2,500 a month, so it's a good spread. It's not gangbusters, I like to get 5 or 6,000 a month, but if you're gonna start out an arbitrage day one, and you can make back your initial deposit and fees and stuff like that with a booking like automatically, I'm all for that. I love to start one up and have someone in there for a few months, recoup some of the money that I poured into it, and then go from there, raising the prices and everything. And I've managed to do that so many times. I always have someone lined up right before this thing's even ready to launch. And this time she said, well, I said they want to move in by Thursday. She picked this up on Monday. But I said, but they're willing to push it back to Friday. And I said, this is a pretty good booking. You should take it. And I'll help you get it all set up, me and Jose. And so We were running around like crazy trying to get that thing set up by Friday. And a lot of stuff hadn't come in. It wasn't going to come in till Saturday or Sunday. And so we had to do a lot of Walmart trips, IKEA trips to get things, some mattresses and everything set up and going, put the TVs up, had to get the TVs. But we were able to get it livable and nice by Friday at the bell. Man, it was freaking nuts. But worth it because we got another income producing property that's going to make, Cheryl money. It's going to make me money, of course, for managing it. And it's going to be good for at least 4 months. They might extend. Probably they're going to extend because it's a house fire. They usually extend on those. And so the people were happy. They were a little bit nervous that because when they toured it with me, it was empty. And I said, y'all can tour it Monday. We just got it, but it's not gonna have anything in it. And we're gonna don't worry, but we'll have everything ready for y'all. And so they were a bit nervous that is this real? Is this a scam? They're working through the corporate housing providing company with us, and so we've worked with this lady before, and she trusts us. She knows that we always get the job done for her and do a great job for her clients. And so she's just had to assure them it's going to be ready. And so, of course, we got it ready by the skin of our teeth. And, and that was a great experience. And during that time, I found another arbitrage opportunity for a friend of Cheryl's out of California. And I'm getting that one up and running. See, here's the thing. I wanted to get a couple of nice ones in place with us doing the management before the baby comes. And I told y'all that the baby could get here like in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And so I said, I'm gonna get these next two up. It's gonna be a nice cushion. We're gonna get some more income coming through. And then I'm gonna chill out a little bit. At least I say I'm gonna chill out. So if you're in this industry and then these opportunities keep coming at you at all angles, it's hard to chill out. But that brings me to wanting to really, really hammer down my systems where I do have people that are reaching out for potential clients and potential arbitrages, and then closing the deals without me because that's the dream. I'm still and I'll go in there and I'll close the deals for landing a client or arbitrage, and I think that's fine because I'm the CEO, right? But if I have someone that can do that for me, that part, and take that off of my hands, and I can focus on just shaping the systems to get that to work properly, that's the best use of my time, I believe. So that's what the next step is, getting this whole glob of what we do, doing the management and doing the arbitrage and we have our properties, their properties, we have management, and then turn it into like a machine with people that have a job to do each and everything. And it's not easy, but it is worth it to get it to run by itself as closely as possible because there's no 100% like the dead cat situation, and it needed to be fixed. But and I might have just bit the bullet and just go ahead and paid a lot of money to get the damn thing removed. But and that should be the case. But I was going to be in the area anyway, so I just like, well, save a little bit of money. Nothing wrong with that. But that being said, hey, that's my first that being said of the day. So so we talked about dead cats. We talked about washers and dryers, a little coffee trailer. I'm just checking off these weird things that I'm doing. Um, I had mentioned on the previous episodes that I got squatters at one of the units. That's the first time ever happened out of thousands of stays at different places. And that's got a lawyer handling that. And here's the thing. At this point of where I'm at in the business and doing this, for so long, letting things linger is not really the best way to do business, and or trying to figure out ways to do things for more affordably instead of just saying, all right, for this situation, got a squatter in there, they won't leave. Went up there with the cops a couple times. Cops won't kick them out because they say it's a civil issue. I should just get the lawyer day one that this happened, they or whatever, after the cops said they couldn't do nothing, and then just let the lawyer handle everything. And which is what I'm doing now. But I took like a week to get to that point because I was trying different strategies to be able to get them out, using the police and everything, and they wouldn't budge. So got the lawyer handling it, and he said, yeah, they're doing the process. They're 3 days. You do a 3 day notice. After that, you can file the eviction, and after that, the constable goes out and they serve them the court papers, and then you get your court date. And he's claiming that he goes, these are criminals in there. The guy is literally a felon that's in this. Luckily it's a 1 bedroom apartment over there in Dallas, and it's not like one of our cash cow houses that someone's doing this out of. Not that that couldn't happen, but luckily it's just one of these little bitty $1,500 a month apartments that we got that we're doing arbitrages out of, and that I'm slowly selling them off because I'm more about doing houses now than doing that. That was a point in my journey that the 1 bedrooms made sense. And if it's a really, really nice 1 bedroom, I still might consider it that I know it's gonna be, make a good spread. But if not, then I'm not gonna even mess with it. And these particular ones, almost sold all of them. And when I say I'm selling the arbitrage. So I'm selling all the furniture inside for a fixed price. And then someone else takes over the lease, or they start a new lease with the complex. And I got them all gone except for this one, that which where the squatters are at. But as soon as they're gone, hopefully soon, then I'll also sell that one. We'll see what kind of condition it's in. Of course, we're going to put a claim in Airbnb and all that because it was an Airbnb stay. Anyways, so that was another thing that I've never gone through until now. But all these things are learning lessons. And I'm going back to saying that handling things quickly and making quick decisions. I mean, of course, you want to sit down with your decisions, right? And make sure that that is the correct decision. But you also don't want to linger on it too long and try all these different ways to do something. Because for this example, get the lawyer quickly and get him on it and get him out of there. Um, and and I was thinking about that today with these, Airbnb, and Sean's talked about it, about you get these bad guests, and in a sense, it's like there's a lot of bad guests out there, a lot of entitled guests that really they know how to work the system, and they know how to like try to say code things to get the free stay from Airbnb and all that, or they just go berserk. Airbnb used to just automatically give them anything free because they claimed, unsafe or unsanitary and all these things. Now Airbnb's pretty much putting it back on us again, saying, "Hey, do you want to give these guys a free stay or discount it or whatever, or refund them their money?" And if we say no, then they tell the guests that, and a lot of times these guests go berserk and they just message after message, like hundreds of, I mean, I don't know how they have time to do all this stuff, writing freaking novels to us about this situation and that situation. I'm gonna sue you, and this is terrible, this is disgusting, you get all that. And I understand standing up and fighting for, or not being a pushover, of course, and standing up and fighting for what you believe is right. And as far as like a guest like these that we've come across before and just tolerated, the problem when you do that, it saps your resources because they're hammering every single shift, question after question, or complaint after complaint, or this and that, and getting Airbnb involved. It's just a freaking headache. And so to me, if it's at, and we have a lot of units that we know are will get booked if these people leave that are in, let's say they booked for 15 days or 20 days or a month. We know that as soon as we get them out of there, this crazy freaking berserk guest, then we're pretty much gonna get booked exactly the same, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. But so to me, it's more of a calculated thing. I was like, all right, this person's gonna just give us nonstop trouble, and they're gonna get Airbnb involved, and Airbnb might even side with them. Who knows? And then just we're SOL. But let's just handle this situation quickly. I'm gonna teach my team, if a psycho berserk guest and we know it's at a place we're gonna get rebooked anyways, just say, okay, cancel today and we'll refund the rest of your days. I ain't going backwards. I ain't gonna say, okay, they were there 3 or 4 or 5 days and I'm gonna go back and refund them the whole thing. No, 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 screw that. But I will refund them all the unused days and get them the freak out of there because I just don't have, you know, my team doesn't have the I was gonna say the time for all that. It's a waste on a bad guest when there's like, 50 other guests that are need attention and they're good guests and we want to pour the attention towards them instead of spending all of our time and resources on the bad ones and just it's just being a freaking nightmare. So I'm all about getting these psychopaths out of the Airbnb as fast as possible and getting good guests in there. There are a lot of good guests, but these psychos and screw them, man, because I mean, they're gonna do this. Probably they're gonna leave our Airbnb and do it to someone else's Airbnb, which sucks. But maybe we can ding them with a bad review. They'll probably ding us with one anyways. But anyways, I would definitely, yeah, I'll always leave an honest review. Screw that. Always leave an honest review, but get the psychopaths out of your places because they can really, really do some damage mentally and to your unit too. Um, Quick decisions. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So getting these quick decisions. Once I see something that's going to be a big weight on the company, I just cut it off immediately. Um, so I talked about renting washers and dryers. This is something cool. At that same place, at the same midterm midterm rental house in Grand Prairie, we had that's the one that had the ceiling leak, and then we I fixed that. I didn't even get the owners involved. I fixed it. Well, I didn't fix it. Our handyman did. And here's what's cool about when you do put systems in place that work because um maintenance, that's a tricky one to get right because you don't want to create a system where, a runny toilet, that's happening or something like that, a leaky toilet that could be fixed for, couple $100, then you don't want the team to go send out profession like a call up from the from the phone book. Does that even exist anymore? The yellow pages. Call up professional AAA auger plumbing, whatever, to go out there because they're going to charge you $1,000 for that. You do want them to use the correct handyman. So once you get your handyman in place, handy people, I like to do it by, okay, you got your most expensive one whenever it's a big deal, and then of course the owners are going to pay for it. If you're doing arbitrage, yeah, you want to use the best ones. Electrical, of course, you want to try to use the pros. And then you got your handyman below that. That's at a pretty good rate, and he'll fix most of the things. Most of the things. And then you got your third tier, which is like a handyman below that guy, which can do maybe low to mid range stuff. He can't do the mid to high range stuff, but he'll do low to touching the mid range a little bit. And you can trust him with a lot of things. And then you got the very bottom, which is probably usually the I'll say the cleaner's husband or the cleaner's boyfriend or the cleaner's brother who can change out light bulbs and change out what's it called? The air conditioning filters and change out stuff like that. And don't trust him with mid-range stuff because he'll just make it worse. And so anyways, the team knowing this, they chose correctly last. No, so I got a text last night when I was going to bed. No, in the morning I saw it because I mean they handled everything. It was freaking beautiful. I loved it because I got the text from Pablo, our handyman. He's like, I guess right below, he's a second tier, but he can do a bunch. And he's reasonable. And he resealed the toilet. He said there was I didn't know any of this. I mean, the team handled everything. They didn't question, they didn't ask me. They went straight down the list, found the right handyman, and he fixed it. So I apparently at this house there was a leaky toilet, like it was leaking on the bottom where the seal is. And so he went over there, changed out the seal, put a new seal, put it back in place, cocked it up, cleaned his area when he's done. He actually left it pretty clean. And then he knocked out a couple other things. He changed some light bulbs while he was there, and like some things that needed addressing. And this drawer in the kitchen, he fixed that because it was like kind of leaning. And so, $250. He texted me in the morning. He goes, "Hey, this is all I did last night, and please sell me $250." And so I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know that there was some stuff wrong with that with that particular place." But the team handled it. And I asked the team, and they said, "Yeah, yeah, we called Pablo. He went and did it and this and that." And in the morning or today, I sent him the money. I was like, "Wow, that's cool." That's the only thing that I haven't um allocated to the team is as making payments, like as far as Zelle payments to people. Because, I love my team. They're great. They're almost in the Philippines. And then Manu, my right-hand man, he's in Argentina. I'm just not to the point where I'm giving out my bank account information where they can make Zelle payments and stuff like that. That's just, I'm not doing that. Not yet. So, and a lot of these handymen like to be paid with Zelle. Now, if it's the cleaners through Turno, you know, Turno.com, whatever that is, where you handle all your cleaners, and that's all set up where they can pay the cleaners through Turno, through the app, and that's fine. It's not, they're not digging into my bank account. And they can order things on Amazon because there's a business card in there. They can order things that we need from Amazon, and they can order things from Walmart and Target, whatever. And so that part of it is mostly outsourced except for like Zelle payments. And I'm not to that point yet where I can trust somebody to get into my bank account and send money that way. So credit cards can always be disputed. Always pay with credit cards, everything you do in your business, right? That you can. And because like, and that brings me to another thing. So all this stuff was going on, and I've been talking in the last few weeks when things start going wrong, it seems like it snowballs. But I also the main credit card, the credit, what's it called? Capital on Tap I use, Visa, that I'm paying everything. I'm paying all the utility bills on it, water, gas, electric, internet, all on there, right? And I'm paying, whatever price labs and hospitable, all of our softwares, everything is on this thing, man. That's the cut. I'm racking up millions of points. It's great. But then the problem is, what happened is I got a phone call from them and say, "Hey, this is there's looks like some fraudulent activity on your card. Uh-oh." And I looked at it, sure enough, there's these charges for a bunch of things that I'd never seen before, like these boxing gyms and these workout gyms and all this stuff over there in the UK. Because this card, I believe this company's out of the UK. But it's a great card. I mean, I've been using it for everything, and I linked up everything on there, and it's a business card. And so, but somehow it got frauded. And so I got all these freaking charges on there. And I was like, well, I guess you got to shut it down, right? Yeah, yeah, we'll shut it down, send you a new car, and go ahead. And they went one by one through all these charges to dispute. And it was about, I don't know, $500 worth of things. Not crazy amount, but I was able to dispute them. And if that shit would have happened with a bank account, you know, that takes a long, long time and to get your money back from a bank account. So always pay everything with a credit card. And of course, you want to pay it in full at the end of the month, right? So that's why I do it that way. And then I disputed all these things, and then like it was back in my account the next day. All these charges that were on there were back in my account, and that brought me to having to go log into every single freaking account that I could think of that was getting declined because of the fraudulent charges. And I had to go put the new card on there, and it was a pain in the butt. But I mean, could have been worse. But it's just like another thing that happens while you're doing business, and I don't know a way around it because fraud happens and fraud happens. But I mean, just things you got to deal with, and the worst part of it is having to call these what's it called, utility companies and the city water and all. It's just oh my gosh. That part I don't know how to outsource either. Dealing with, I mean, to an extent, I can add some like I can add an authorized user on some of the utility stuff, right? And but I should figure out a way to do that. That's just the thing I need to work on too, as far as systems. So because dealing with utility companies, as you know, sucks. So as everything was going bad, that happened too, the credit card fraud thing. Moving right along. I hate being negative, like all this bad stuff's happening, but I'm positive in a way because I'm learning from it, and I'm helping to share with you, so you'll learn from it too. It's a whole symbiotic relationship we got, right? That's a big college word. Affect. Okay, yeah, I talked about getting rid of the trouble guest because also that was affecting my ability, possible ability to sell off those Dallas units that I'm trying to get out of. Um, I may be. Oh, another thing, when all this stuff was happening and craziness and the spending money this way and that way to try to, like I had mentioned in the last few weeks, if you listen to the other podcasts, like I said, you got to pay for a lawyer for an eviction. You're not making any money on that unit. Um, things like I said, things add up. And but the thing is, it motivated me to go out there and find other ways to make money. Because I would have probably been if nothing bad was happening in this last few couple months, right? That's been going on, all these crazy situations, then I would have been a lot less motivated to get out there and land these new properties that I've been landing and these new clients that I've been landing. I would have been a lot less motivated. And this past month, I mean, two new clients and two new properties, right? And this past week, and I'm looking for ways to build the machine to add more, to get more without me in the way. And that's why I always said that my favorite Shakespeare quote is "Sweet are the uses of adversity," because without that adversity, I would have just probably sat back and like whatever, I'm not gonna even try, or maybe I'll get to it one day. But it really lit a fire under my ass, this whole eviction thing that I'm trying to that I'm going the squatter thing I'm going through is just like it lit a fire under my ass to go out there and make up that money that I was losing, right? And I even motivated to sell my, have a truck because I got another truck that I bought from my ex-partner Federico that I really liked the the truck and Federico and and so he's up in New York now. But I bought his truck and I always liked that one. And so this other truck, and these are old trucks. This is a 2005 truck I bought, for a few grand. And then have a old Dodge Ram, and I'm like, well, I'm motivated to sell it now. Even more so, I'm not going to drag my heels on this. I went and cleaned it up, took a ton of pictures on Facebook Marketplace, put it out there, and then I'm getting a lot of messages. Someone might buy it this Friday, and that'll be more money, right? To compensate for I got punched right here in the face a little bit. I didn't fall down, but I came back swinging, boom, 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 punch, 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 punch. So it woke me up to get out there and get that money, as they say. And so when you seek money, you will definitely find it. And it just takes motivation sometimes. A kick in the balls helps you get motivated in a way. Um, I spoke about insurance pricing on the last episode, I think. I don't know. But yeah, insurance is freaking expensive nowadays. I do I am exploring more and this is the thing, to not to be reactionary because like I said, this is the first kind of squatter situation I've gone through um, in thousands of stays. And it's a unique situation because the dude that's squatting there has like an ankle monitor on and he's on house arrest anyway. So he ain't motivated to leave no matter what, right? He don't give a damn. His life's all crazy anyways. He don't give a shit. He's just gonna stay somewhere for free. And the law, as the laws are written, will help him do that. And so it's a very unique situation. I've never seen my friends go through this. I've heard these horror stories online, of course, but I'm to be reactionary and say, oh, I got to put proper insurance in all these one bedroom condos. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, it's a lot of money. Proper insurance for a house, I can understand, but for one bedroom condos where hardly anything, crazy goes on, um, that's just I got to step back. I got to look at it, see what the prices are because they do. That's the thing. proper insurance or these other ones, they offer what's it called? Squatter insurance. If they whatever they call it, squatter insurance, eviction insurance. So they'll pay for the process. But I'm trying to get Airbnb to pay for all this stuff that I'm going through because it was through their booking. So I'll keep you all informed on that, of course. Um, and I was gonna say, I think that was as I say I'm slowing down when the because the baby's getting here. I am. I'm picking up an arbitrage in this complex where I have a few arbitrages already that they do really well, right? And excuse me. And I it's a really good price, and I already know how good the one bedrooms do. It's another part of Dallas over there off of close to Love Field Airport, if anybody knows where Love Field Airport is. And the two that I have there do really, really well. They do really well. And this one is even the rent is even cheaper because like these are individually owned condos, right? So they excuse me, they're individually owned, and so you're not dealing with an apartment complex or nothing. You have the owner that if you need anything fixed or you gotta sign a lease, you gotta sign with the owner. The thing is with when and here's the thing you'll see whenever you're getting out there and getting your arbitrages or whatever. And you're going on Zillow and reaching out to potential arbitrages and then you might deal with the agent and then they provide a little bit of a barrier, right? Dealing with the agent. And it's not always bad, but a lot of times it is bad if they're going to be the one actively managing it, right? But I think in this case, this agent isn't going to actively manage it. It's going to be between me and the landlord himself for a 2 year lease with the option to buy. And now I can buy this condo in a couple years at the set price of whatever the amount we agreed on. And I think it might be worth it, But he's been trying to sell this for a long time and he just changed it to a rental. I've been following this one for a while. And he switched it to a rental at a good price because he just wants to get some money for it. And so I'm like, okay, I'll rent it for you for 2 years and with the option to buy. I tried to do a whole owner finance thing and it just didn't work out. They just yeah. Because the agent's in the middle, and that makes it a little tough because he's like, well, how do I get my money? Well, you get your money when I buy out of it. But anyways, so when you're dealing with these arbitrage situations and there's like a real estate agent in the middle, it gets a little tricky. Especially with all the mounds of paperwork because they got to send you all this legally. They got to send you all these things if they're going to be the intermediary or they're going to be the one that's going to manage it or they're going to be they're going to be just the broker when you buy it. I mean, they send you, oh my goodness, they send you pages after pages of stuff, right? And of course they don't go by the Zillow application because that's where I found this one. I love the Zillow applications. Mom and pops love them. It shows you everything you need to know. But apparently this they have their own application that you got to pay for and submit, and they want all this stuff. I mean, like I said, it's a real estate agent. They have their place. I mean, when you're buying real estate, you really want to have a real estate agent, working for you. But as far as like trying to do rentals or creative finance, they kind of murky the waters up and because they have to do all this legal stuff and they're afraid to get do something wrong legally. I understand it because their license is on the line, but dealing with just directly with the mom and pop owner is always the best way if you could do that. If not, but this deal was too sweet to pass up. So I will be picking up a one bedroom condo that I'll be doing an arbitrage for 2 years. And after that 2 years, I get to, that's a cool thing. I get to test drive it, see if it profits like I thought it was going to profit, and then purchase it hopefully, and after those 2 years are up. So I think that's it, man. I think I covered a lot of ground on that one, and not a huge amount of time. 45 minutes or so. Is that how long this episode is? But like I said, so if you're looking for an arbitrage, hit up my friend Rachel at Low Casa, LO-Casa, and she'll lo-casa.com. She'll hook you up with a great arbitrage in whatever city you want. And if she don't got it on her list, because she has like pages of these arbitrages that all over the country. what she don't have on there, she'll go look for what area you want. You be in California, you be in New York, whatever. Bad examples, right? But anywhere in the country where you're at, say, hey, Rachel, can you look at over here in my area? And she'll look for you. She'll pound the concrete, man. She'll hit up all these places. She's a disciple of the great Sean Rasijic, if I ever say that right. So she knows how to land these arbitrages. So if you're really, really serious about getting you an arbitrage, a good arbitrage, hit up my friend Rachel at Low Casa, Lo-Casa.com. And then if you do land you one that you like and you want management, I come in through Rachel's company at a heavily discounted rate, at least for the first year. So you get an arbitrage and then you get a break on management for that first year. And then we work on something from there. But yeah, there's no excuses, man, to go ahead and start this thing because there's a lot of money and a lot of fun and a lot of craziness, and you'll figure out after your first one if you're built for this. But after your 50th one, and if you're still in the game, you're doing something good. And I patted myself on the back and my team for doing such a great job for all these years. And if you need any help, hit me up, send me a message. And yeah, that's all I gotta say today. Thank you so much for listening. liveletthrive@gmail.com. Still rocking the Gmail, and just hit me up with any questions you got, and we'll chat, and I'll help you any way I can. Thank you so much for being a listener all these years. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.